In this video, we're going to learn how tokens see in Foundry VTT. We'll take a look at lights, walls, token vision settings, and how they all interact with Fog of War. Let's add a token to the farmhouse scene that we just set up and see what happens. To do that, we'll change to the Actors tab of the sidebar, press Create Actor, and give it a name. The D&D 5e game system provides these options, but your system may be different. We'll select Player Character and press Create Actor. I'll also give it a quick portrait and token. We now have a blank character. Let's close the sheet, place the actor in the scene as a token, and select it so we can see what it sees. Everything around the token is pitch black because there isn't any light in this scene. We can add bright light across the entire scene by opening our scene settings, going to the Visibility tab, enabling the Global Illumination option, and saving our changes. Our token can actually see too much now. Let's look at how we can stop our token from seeing into the farmhouse with walls. These are the wall tools. Walls control where tokens can move and what they can see and hear in a scene. There are two main tools in this group, the Selector and the Draw Wall tool. Let's start with the Draw Wall tool. You can click and drag to place a wall in the scene. If you want to place a lot of walls that are all linked together, hold the Control key on Windows or Command on a Mac and keep clicking to place more points. When you're done, release the key and place your final point. If you accidentally put them in the wrong spot, you can grab the node at the end of any of the walls to adjust it. You can also change to the selector, grab one or more of them, and move them. If the node is not winding up exactly where you want it, you can press and hold Shift to ignore the scene subgrid and place it precisely where your cursor is. Generally, you shouldn't do this though, because it can make it harder to link your walls together without any gaps. What about the rest of these tools? Most of them are types of walls that you can use for different effects. Just select the Draw Wall tool and then pick the type of wall you want to make. Solid walls are what you get when you think of a normal wall. It blocks vision, sound, light, and movement. Terrain walls allow you to make a point of interest visible while not letting tokens see beyond them or move through them. They're perfect for things like large boulders, statues, and trees. Invisible walls prevent movement but not sight, hearing, or light. They can be used for things like invisible barriers. Ethereal walls block sight, light, and hearing, but not movement. You can use them for things like illusory walls that aren't really there. Doors block everything you would expect, but they can be opened to allow players to see, hear, and move through them. As a game master, you can also right-click on the door icon to lock and unlock a door, which will prevent players from being able to open it. Secret doors are just like regular doors, but players will not be able to see the door icon. It's perfect for hiding a secret entry or exit in what looks like a normal wall. Windows allow light and sight, but only within a certain distance. By default, it's 10 feet, but you can make it larger or smaller. As tokens get closer to a window, they'll see farther out. You can also edit any place wall by double-clicking on it, so you can have a secret door that's also a window, or any other combination. A fun feature is that you can also pick a door sound, which will play when a door is opened, closed, or locked. If your map doesn't have doors baked into the image, you can even add animated doors to your scene. Just select an animation type, choose a texture for the door from your own assets or ones that are included in Foundry VTT, and tweak the animation strength and duration as needed. After that, we have the usual set of tools that we saw in the other groups. The Snap tool forces wall points to snap to the corner of the grid. The Palette tool allows you to make batch edits to selected walls or serve as a template for walls you place going forward. You can make a custom wall combination and use the Draw Wall tool to place it. The Close Doors button will shut all of the doors in your scene, and the Trash button will delete all of the walls in your scene. Let's fast forward a bit to see what things look like when all of the walls are placed. Now our token can only see into the farmhouse through the windows, and it's blocked from walking through it until it opens a door. Everything is looking pretty good. What if we don't want the interior of the farmhouse to be brightly lit like it is outside, though? That's where our friend regions come into play. We learned about them in the Foundry UI video, but didn't get to use them much. Let's use regions to disable global illumination inside the farmhouse. To start, change over to the region tools. You can draw a polygonal region around the farmhouse, but Foundry does have a neat feature that converts walls into a region. To use it, change to the Placeables tab, create a region, and double-click to open it. We'll give it a better name, like Farmhouse Interior. Then, change to the Shapes tab. There's a button here that looks like a wall with a plus sign. When you press it, it will take any walls you have selected and try to create a shape from them. Let's change over to the Wall tools. Select all of the walls that make up the farmhouse and press that button. We've got a perfectly shaped region now. Here's how you can use this region to disable global illumination. Change to the Behaviors tab and press the Create button. We want the Adjust Darkness Level behavior. You can give it a name if you want, but it's not necessary. This behavior changes what the darkness level is inside of this region. We can add or subtract to the darkness level, or we can override it so that it's set to the value we choose. We'll go with override. But how does this help? Do you remember in the last video when we looked at the darkness level slider in the scene settings? The higher we made it, the darker the scene got. Well, Foundry has another cool feature that lets you toggle things like lights and sounds on or off based on the darkness level in the scene. That way you can do things like have streetlights turned off during the day, but on at night. One of the other things that you can turn off based on the darkness level is global illumination. You can set when it turns off by changing the global illumination threshold. Then, whenever the darkness level is higher than the threshold, global illumination will turn off. That threshold is currently set to 1. Since the slider can't go higher than 1, that means global illumination will always be on. Let's drop that number to something like 0.5 in the scene settings and press Save Changes. Global illumination will now be turned off anywhere the darkness level is greater than 0.5. If we set our Adjust Darkness Level behavior to something more than 0.5, then global illumination will be turned off in that region. It's like cutting a hole in the bright light that's covering the scene. Let's press Update Region and grab our token to confirm it. I'm also going to reset our Fog of War, so it will be like we just placed this token in the scene. We'll learn more about that in a bit. Just like that, our token can no longer see in the farmhouse because global illumination is disabled inside it. Some of you may be saying, but I have dark vision. And you're right. Let's give our token dark vision. You can change your token's settings by double right-clicking on it, or you can right-click on the token and press the gear icon. These are all of the settings you can control for your token. We are interested in vision, so we'll change to that tab. We can see that our token has Vision Enabled checked. That means when you select that token, you'll be limited to what it can see. It's normally turned off for NPCs, so the Game Master's view doesn't keep changing when they select different NPC tokens during things like combat. The Vision Range option controls how far this character should be able to see without any light. For example, a creature with 60 feet of dark vision should have this set to 60. If they don't have dark vision or a similar feature, this should be set to 0. After setting it to 60, we can immediately tell that our token can see much farther in the scene. Vision Angle controls whether they should be able to see 360 degrees around them, or a more limited angle like this. We'll stick with 360 for now. The Vision Mode field controls the visual effect applied to what you can see. Basic Vision doesn't apply any effect. Dark Vision makes it so the parts of the scene that are lit are in color, and areas with no lighting are in black and white. Since the farmhouse doesn't have any light in it, everything is black and white. Light Amplification gives a night vision goggle look. Monochromatic makes everything black and white. And Tremor Sense gives a kind of radiating effect that bounces off of walls and indicates where creatures are when they're on the ground. We'll stick with Dark Vision. There are a lot more options that we can fiddle with, but this is all you need to get started. So we'll press Update Token to save our changes. Just because we don't want global illumination in the farmhouse doesn't mean that we don't want any lights though. Let's take a look at how we can add some lights inside of the house with the light tools. There are two main tools in this group, the Selector and the Draw Light tool. The Draw Light tool lets you place lights at various sizes in your scene, and you can resize them by grabbing their handle. The Selector lets you select one or more lights, move them around, and you can right-click on lights to toggle them on and off. As we just learned, scenes in Foundry have a darkness level. That's where the Transition to Daylight and the Transition to Darkness buttons come in. When you press them, they'll either slowly reduce the darkness level to 0 or increase it to 1. If we transition to darkness, the darkness level will increase, and when it goes over 0.5, global illumination will turn off across the entire scene, just like inside the farmhouse region we made earlier. The Reset Fog of War button will wipe everyone's explored Fog of War for this scene. If we press it now, we can see that our token has lost its memory of where it has already explored. The palette tool allows you to make batch edits to selected lights, or serve as a template for lights you place going forward with the Draw Light tool. And the Trash button will delete all of the lights in your current scene. You can also double-click on lights to open their settings. Let's look at some of the common settings you'll use now. You can give your light a name, which can make it easier to find in the Placeables tab. You can also change how far it sheds bright and dim light. You can make it so your light isn't constrained by walls and surfaces. You can change the angle it emits light out of and rotate it. You can also make your light into a source of darkness instead of light, which will make the given area dark and prevent tokens from seeing inside of it. You can change the light's color and how intense the color is. The darkness activation range determines when the light should be on depending on the darkness level. For example, if you want it to turn on above 0.5, you can set it to be between 0.5 and 1. The Light Animation tab is where a lot of the fun stuff happens. You can pick from a ton of different animation types, set how fast they animate, and how intense the animation is. You can also reverse their direction if you want. I'll stick with a torch effect and drop the speed down a little bit so we can place some candles throughout the farmhouse. The Advanced Options tab has a ton of other customizations you can make, but you should only dive into these if you want to get deep into the weeds with customizing how your scene looks for some extra polish. One last helpful trick is that you can select a light, press Ctrl-C on Windows or Command-C on a Mac to copy it, and paste a copy of it with Ctrl-V or Command-V. This can make it quick and easy to place common light features across your scene. Our token can see everything in the scene just how we want it to now. The outside has global illumination, the farmhouse doesn't, but it does have lights placed around it that work as expected. With everything set up, let's look at how Fog of War works. Fog of War in Foundry is dynamic. It will update automatically as you move around the scene, when lighting changes like when you turn on a lantern, and as you interact with things like windows and doors. It's important to note, though, that anything that happens in an area where the Fog of War has been revealed, but that our token isn't in range to see, is not visible. If I place another token in an area where our token has explored but can't currently see, then it won't be able to see it until it moves back to that area. There are a few different ways of handling Fog of War exploration in Foundry VTT. Let's open our scene configuration and change to the Visibility tab. We have some options to control the Fog of War here. These settings can be unique to every scene. Setting the Exploration mode to None makes it so that your token doesn't remember places that it's been. It can only see what its current vision allows. Individual Fog of War means every player will have their own Fog of War and will only be able to see places where their tokens have explored. The Shared option, on the other hand, shares Fog of War between all of the players, so everyone can see where everyone else has explored on a map. This can be particularly useful in something like a region map. You can also set an exploration image, which could be something like a piece of parchment or a sketched version of a map. The unexplored color changes the color of the Fog of War, and the explored color changes the color of areas where you have already explored but can't currently see. We've got a pretty great looking farmhouse scene now. It has walls, windows, doors with sound effects, and animated atmospheric lights that respond to the darkness level of our scene. Our token even has rules-accurate dark vision, and we understand how Fog of War works. This was a big video that introduced a lot of very important concepts for Foundry VTT. Don't feel bad if you're a little overwhelmed. Once you've made a few scenes, it will become second nature, and you'll be diving into advanced options and debating coloration techniques and attenuation levels in no time. Thanks for watching the first batch of our Learning Foundry VTT videos. You should know everything you need to get started. Be sure to share our Player's Guide to Foundry with your players so they can be as prepared as you are. Let us know in the comments if you liked them and what you'd like us to teach you in the future. In the meantime, happy gaming.